Baker Mayfield, the hype, everything going in, not only the hype, but his vocal assertions and the way the bravado that he's shown. I always thought that Cleveland needed somebody like that, but when things started to maybe turn and not live up to expectations, there's going to be some blowback, and we're kind of starting to see that yesterday, putting some blame on the officials, not necessarily taking a solid look in the mirror. What have you seen from Baker so far, and what do you expect coming out of the bye week in a couple weeks?
Yeah. Well, I said this at the beginning of the year with the expectations for Cleveland. Baker Mayfield was going to be challenged this year in a way that he's probably never been challenged before. And it wasn't going to be with a football in his hands. So much of being a franchise quarterback and being sort of the leader in that huddle is what you do when the ball's not in your hands. And I've actually been very impressed with him on how he's handled the media. He shut things down when it was time to shut them down. He's deflected when it was time to deflect. But they have to find a way to play better football. That's really the bottom line. And I think that coaching staff needs to probably just come together and figure out what that identity of the team is going to be. I think that they've got a little bit too distracted by the weapons that they have outside with the wide receiver group. And they've kind of forgot. It feels like a team that doesn't have a solid foundation. It feels like a team that is built up on kind of like a fantasy football mindset, more so than a blue-collar work ethic. Just like we're gonna start everything with the run game. We're gonna look at everything through the lens of the offensive line. We're gonna protect our quarterback early in the games. Like I haven't seen that high completion percentage style of offense that we saw last year. When they were just like treating Baker like he was a young quarterback. I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but we can't forget that he's still a young quarterback maturing. And so what's missing for him, I think that coaching staff has to get on the same page. And I'm not in those meetings necessarily, obviously, but whatever it is, like they have to find a way to just help him get comfortable in games instead of holding on the ball too long and forcing throws and then being inaccurate on other throws. Like there's something where you just got to treat him more like Mike Holmgren used to always say this. With all my quarterbacks, you have to walk before you can run. And I think that they just came out like gangbusters thinking like, oh, we're the favorites to win the division. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to go for it. And I really think that that mindset of like walk before you run would have served this team better, and they probably would be 3-3 right now instead of 2-4. And it wouldn't feel like the sky is falling. But I'll just end with this, Ryan. I don't think it's over for the Cleveland Browns. I actually think that they can still rally and get it together. I like their schedule at the end, and they're not out of it.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.